Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the Krusty Krab for all of your city building needs. That's right, I have taken the Krusty Krab from SpongeBob and I have turned it into a seafood / fast food restaurant. We have a drive-thru, an eating area, a kitchen, and a bathroom. So I think that this successfully qualifies as a fast food restaurant. If you guys do enjoy this tutorial, I had a lot of requests to make this, please do remember to hit that like button, that really helps me out, and if you can try and watch as much of the video as you possibly can, I know that can be difficult in one sitting, then that really helps me out a lot as well. But without any further ado, let's get started. Here is the amount of space required to make our build, a 25 by 33 block area, as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which I would always recommend making if you are planning out your world. It can only help. Here are all of the materials that we will need to make our build. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. And now that we have all of our stuff, we can get started. Step 1, if you have made the grid, come all the way down to the front left-hand corner of it. From this corner, you want to count backwards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then count to the right 1, 2. We want to begin by placing a 2 by 2 square of spruce planks. We place a spruce plank here in the starting position, one to the right, and then a row behind both of those blocks. We then want to extend up each of these spruce wood planks by 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Come to the left side of what you have just made. You want to take the back left hand corner, so this block right here, extend up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1, left 1, up 1. So, in total, we should have done that 4 times. You can see that we have the 4 ridges. We then want to take the last block that we placed and we want to extend it left by 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we want to go down, left, down, left, down, left, down. We then want to extend left, and we want to take these last 2 blocks and we want to join them down to the ground. On the inside of these blocks, we want to extend them across each by 1. You should notice a parallel here between the front and the back. That is perfect. So what you can then do is you can extend every single one of these spruce wood plank blocks across. That includes all of the blocks, of course, that we just placed for the roof of the Krusty Krab. And we now want to add, and this is where it's a little bit tricky, but hopefully you can kind of see what we want to do. You want to add another layer of spruce planks underneath the pre-existing row of spruce planks, if that sort of makes sense. So basically underneath everything that we've just made, and you can see the difference here, this is actually probably the perfect way to showcase it, is you just want to have another row of spruce planks underneath, so it kind of continues on from that stable 2 by 2 base that we kind of started with, and it progresses along to create the cool archway that we know and love. So now that we have done this, we are now going to extend across the back of the build, and we're going to do it by placing 17 spruce planks extending from the inward corner here of this pillar. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We want to take the last 2 blocks and extend them towards us by 1. We then want to take this square and we want to extend them up by 3. 1, 2, 3. And I think that you guys get the idea from here. What we're essentially doing is we are mirroring what we have over there. So we will then take, and you can do this in 2s if you like, or you can pick any one of these 2 front blocks, and we want to extend the block up, left, up, left, up, left, up. So again, you want to have went up 4 times in total. You guys can see what we've got to do. We've got to extend left by, I do believe the number is 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We then want to go down, left, down, left, down, left, down, left, like this. So again, we're kind of like going down by 4. We then want to extend those. I think that we've done that. No? Is that perfect? We want to extend these last 2 blocks down to the ground, just like this. And then we can extend a row of spruce planks across coming towards us. So we want to double up on this row. Same thing that we did over on the opposite side. We want to make it kind of like even with the pillar. We then want to add an additional row of spruce planks just underneath, basically just underneath the entire archway, the entire raised part, the part that isn't the pillar. And again, this is probably the best way that I can show it you because you can see where the original row is and you can see where the additional row is. So very, very simple. But it makes such a huge difference, like it really does just make the build look quite a bit better. So there we go, very, very happy with that. So now that we have the 2 not so golden arches, we want to, on the back of the build, we may as well work on this, is we want to add another row of spruce planks on top of the back connecting row. On the right side here, we want to add 2 rows of spruce starting on the right. We then want to add a little window that's using a little glass pane, and then the rest of the row can be spruce. The row above will be spruce planks as well. We then want to have a row of dark oak planks that is above and outside the row of the back of the build, if that makes sense. You can see what I'm talking about here. We then want to have a mixed row above and inside of this. We want to have a row of 4 spruce planks extending from either side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dark oak plank. 5 spruce planks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dark oak plank. And then we want to make the rest of the row spruce planks. We then want to place a row of dark oak planks above and inside of this. Just like so. Perfect. And then we want to grab stone buttons, and we want to place stone buttons in such a way that they want to look like nails, because the Krusty Krab is made out of bits of wood, of course, and they are nailed together, and they're planks of wood. We're using planks to make planks, and they want to be placed where the joins would be, in between the, basically just in between the rows of spruce where the dark oak planks are. You guys get the idea. So the next thing that we are going to do is I think that we're going to make the front, and then we'll probably move on to the sides. So on the front of the build, we want to come all the way over to the front left hand side. We want to take the back corner block here, and we want to place, as a matter of fact, it might be easier to do it this way. We want to come up to the top of the row, still in the same plane, so the back right hand corner, come up to the top here, and then we want to place a row of 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spruce planks extending right. Join down to the ground, continue extending that row, 1, 2, 3, 4, join down to the ground. Continue extending that row, you don't have to count, it will just join to the opposite side. We then want to extend these bottom middle 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 spruce planks. We then want to join them together at the top using spruce slabs. And then we want to place light blue glass pane on the insides here to create kind of, well, I mean, it's to look like a door. We then want to give the door handles by placing the birch fence on the left and right sides, and it is just one of those doors that you don't know whether to push or pull even if it's labelled, or at least I don't. The amount of doors that I've walked slap bang into the just straight into them is unreal. So now that we have done this, we then want to add in some windows. So this is going to be light blue glass pane. In the, well, I mean, basically it's just extending the horizontal row of these spruce planks downwards. So that's all there is to it, really. So here, and you may want to just destroy underneath the pane here like this and replace it using some spruce planks. it just looks a little bit better than the grass. There we go. Nice. So, we now want to copy, because, by the way, this is kind of like the entrance area. We've got some windows. It's looking quite nice. The roof for the front is actually the same as the back. So we'll start off with a row of dark oak planks above and inside the row of spruce planks. We then want to have the countered row of 1, 2, 3, 4 spruce, dark oak plank, 1, 2, 3, 4 spruce, dark oak plank, and then rest is spruce. And then above this, we want to, of course, have the entire row of dark oak. So we want to have something which should look like this. And as you might notice, it looks very, very, very similar to what we have on the back, despite all we want to do is we want to add buttons to the top. Remember how on the back we had buttons like all the way down, where we have the connectors for the dark oak planks. We miscounted this, so this should be 5. My bad. Hang on. I thought that looked a little bit funny. There we go. If you counted 4 and then 5, then you won't have the same problem that I just had there. There we go. That's nice and even and balanced. You can see that now. So we only want these stone buttons on the top 2 parts. We don't want them on the lower row because we're going to have banners and it will get in the way. So, the next thing that we want to do is we want to kind of like sort out the roof even more. Locate where we have like the rows of dark oak planks. You can see where we have the buttons. We want to have rows of dark oak planks extending all the way back towards the back of the build here. So we want to have these 2 long rows just joining and connecting. And then I kind of want to divide the roof of the Krusty Krab up a little bit. So let's do this. So I want to count rows of 3. 1, 2, 3. Coming from the front and the back. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to have horizontal rows of dark oak planks that extend through the top of the roof. So this might not make sense as I'm saying it, but once we just have done this, you'll be able to see quite nicely. We're just making a grid. All I want to do is make it look as though that the top of the Krusty Krab is made out of planks. So you can see that we have the front to back rows of dark oak planks. So we sort of already had anyway, but now we just have some horizontal rows. It should be 3 on the front, 3 on the back, 5 in the middle. Now we've just got to fill these in using spruce wood planks. We also have some details to add. The Krusty Krab has a chimney, and it also has I want to say an antenna. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe you'll be able to tell me. I think it's an antenna of some sort, but I don't know, you know, who knows. So, we'll see when we get there, but all of this just wants to be filled in with spruce. Like I said, we're going to add the chimney. We are slowly but surely exhausting our materials, really, so we should probably swap some out in a second. We will certainly need to do some of this. So, first of all, the antenna that I'm talking about, I want to place it, and by the way, this makes it easier to place stuff. Front right-hand quadrant, for front right-hand square rectangle of the Krusty Krab, move 1 row inwards diagonally, place 4 dark oak fence, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then take the 3rd block and extend left and right by 1. There you go, that's all you got to do, antenna. So, I had an antenna once. She was lovely. So anyway, we want to grab a light grey concrete, my favourite ant. I don't know what I'm talking about. So... we now want to grab light grey concrete and polished andesite stairs. Is Enna even a name? I had an ant Enna. I don't know. So grab your polished andesite stairs and come to this cross section here. It's hard to describe, but hopefully if you've done the same crisscrossy pattern that I have, then we want to place an andesite stairs here, 1 to the right, 2 rows of light grey concrete extending back with opposite facing polished andesite stairs. We then want to place, I do believe it's just going to be 1 row of, because we'll be able to see it quite nicely, 1 row of light grey concrete, and then just back to back polished andesite stairs like this. So you could raise that up a little bit if you wanted to, but we can quite clearly see it anyway from the front. We don't want to make it too big. It might look a little bit goofy, but I mean, I guess we could if we wanted to. So like, if you did want to, if you felt the need that, if you felt as though it would look a little bit better, and it might, then feel free to add an extra row of light grey concrete on there, you know. There you go. It's up to you. Now I think that looks a bit... I don't know. It looks fine, I guess. So, now that we have done that... Oh, also, it might be sort of cool to place buttons where the... on top of this. This is a very minor detail here, but buttons where the planks kind of like cross-sect. So, I mean, I guess that they wouldn't be on the tops of the back part there. Or would they? Does it look better? I don't know. It's all about what looks better, really. So it might look a little bit better. It might look a little bit worse. But I think that makes the roof look quite cool in detail. But now that we've done that, we have to work on the sides. So the sides actually aren't too complicated whatsoever. But we are missing just one thing. Iron bars. The sides made out of spruce planks, iron bars, and light blue glass pane. Both sides of the Krusty Krab are actually very, very similar, but there is a slight detail on one of them. I'll explain it as we get there. So, I'm coming to the back right-hand corner of the Krusty Krab, and I'm moving one row inwards from the bottom corner here. I want to place 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spruce planks. I will then want to extend them up by 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I want to extend forwards like this. So, boom. I'm going to fill this area at the back in using spruce planks. So, when I say the back, I mean pretty much like the back and above it. So, all this is just getting filled in using the spruce planks. Forwards from this, I'm just going to dig out here. Forwards from this, I'm going to place light blue glass pane, and of course these are simply windows. That's all there is to it. So, other than, now that we've done this, by the way, now that, like that, here. Okay, so now that we've done that, all we want to do is we want to place iron bars. So iron bars are very simple. It's basically leave a gap, place a bar, leave a gap, place a bar, so on and so forth. You may also find that you want, and this is... Oh, I didn't destroy any of them. You may find that you... I was sure that I was going to take out that entire row. You may find that you want to have an extra row of spruce planks at the bottom here. But I think it does look better. You might want to leave it. It's up to you. So that's how the iron bars go, right? So basically, we have one row, one horizontal row, and then, sorry, like every other block, we have like a row of iron bars. The same thing sort of applies here, like, except the iron bars are going horizontally. So I find that the easiest way to place these is like to place a vertical row like this and then just sweep across the top of them. And you basically just keep following the vertical rows. Eventually we'll get all the way up to the top and it will just look like this. So it's that like wire mesh sort of thing that we have on the side of the Krusty Krab. Now this Krusty Krab is a drive-through also. So let me just make sure that the position of this window is going to be correct. I know that it's in the plan somewhere. Okay, so the window is here. So basically, if you want to create a 2x2 square, basically you move from this bottom corner left, up, and then destroy a little square, and then add like a little bit of light blue glass as kind of like a little, just a drive-through window separator. That's all you gotta do, and that leads into the kitchen where Spongebob is working tirelessly. So we can come all the way over onto the opposite side now, and we can basically copy what we have over there onto here minus the drive-through window. So come to this corner, move in one, place a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go up by 3, 1, 2, 3. We then move all the way forwards like this. I'm going to destroy this row of grass and this row of grass. And we are going to absolutely fill this up using spruce planks. We're going to fill the front part of this in using light blue glass pane. So all this is just going to be light blue glass pane. Here, here, and then just all of this is just going to be spruce planks, as I mentioned. So, I mean, as we've done on the opposite side, so it shouldn't be too hard to just imagine that we're basically just doing the same thing here. So here, and also here. Perfect. Then all we've got to do, and again, I find this to be the easiest way of doing it. I'm sure that you can do it in whichever way you want, but every other block iron bars, place a horizontal row on top, and there you go. Easy peasy, nice, quick. It's sometimes I like to try and do it like all of the vertical rows and then the horizontal rows, but I just find that this is just smoother. So now that we have done that, that's looking good. We have both sides done. I'm wondering to myself, what should we do next? Because we've got a good portion of the Krusty Krab made now, ladies and gentlemen. A huge portion of the Krusty Krab. We might place the end rods, because that will give us a good gauge of where the banners are going. So, grab your end rods and come all the way up to the front left-hand side of the Krusty Krab. This ridge here is where we want to place an end rod, and the same on the opposite side. There. A banner will hang, will actually be placed here, it won't hang, will hang, and it will look as though it's suspended from this end rod here. So, we're going to place a light grey concrete here, and I'm going to just have to replace this button. And we will want to have a double set of end rods here. So the banner will go here, and this is where the end rods will go. So I'm going to do the same here. So the banner will go here, and we want to have a double set of end rods like this. Perfect. So the next banner will go right here. So you might imagine that we also then need another double set of end rods. This is easier with the banners, by the way, but hopefully you guys should be able to see how these are being placed. So there we go. That's how you want to place your end rods. We just want to place that here. So a banner will go here, a banner will go here, 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 and here. So you just want to leave the space, and you should see how it all works out rather nicely. Now that we have done that, I think that we're going to start doing some of the outside of the Krusty Krab now. So, when it comes to the outside of the Krusty Krab, there's a drive-through, but there's walls around the drive-through. Dark oak planks, birch fence, grey concrete, white concrete, smooth stone, and we will just... we'll also need leaves, and then we'll just leave it at that for now. I want to have 2 rows of smooth stone that are basically a pavement outside of the Krusty Krab. This may or may not be necessary. This is the 2 end rows of the front of the grid, by the way. This may or may not be necessary depending upon where you are placing the Krusty Krab. We then want to have 2 rows of fence, one on the left side extending all the way back, and one on the right side extending all the way back. We're not going to connect it at the back. We want to have a drive-through. So this is on the right-hand side, makes sense, that's where the window is. So these 3 rows here are all going to be dug out and replaced using grey concrete. So, we may also, just whilst we're back here, and let me just move that. So, whilst we're back here, we are just going to make the back part, and the sides, by the way, so this side here, we're going to make it so that we can actually walk around the Krusty Krab, because, as you guys might know, there are dumpsters on the back of the Krusty Krab. We are going to be making those, because I don't know why, it seems like a feature. It seems like it should be there, I have no idea why. So, we're going to place 3 rows of grey concrete, of course, to represent the drive-through, just like this. Perfect. We have to have 2 rows of smooth stone. This is to sit in front of the Krusty Krab. This is a pathway. We're also going to, of course, open up a pathway to literally just lead us into the entrance, just in case we wouldn't be able to find it ourselves. I might struggle. So we want to have 3 rows of smooth stone here, just in between the actual entrance. And then we want to have 3 rows, of course, connecting and leading to this path. All of this may be irrelevant depending upon where you are placing the Krusty Krab specifically. Just like this. So now that we have done that, We just have to add a row of oak leaves on the left and right side of the path. These are built into the ground because I just like the effect. We need flowers also, by the way, so we are going to use azure bluettes because I think it's quite a neutral flower. This is just in front of the Krusty Krab. It'd actually be kind of fun to have coral, actually, to waterlog some coral, and that'd actually be kind of fun. Maybe you might want to do that, I don't know. On the right side here, we are going to place 2 rows of leaves extending from front to back. You can see how we've done that. We then want to knock out the entire area here, and we are meaning the grass, the remaining area. We want to place rows of white concrete with grey concrete in between, just like this. So we want to do a similar thing on the left, similar but not exactly the same. So I'll show you what we're going to do. We'll have a... Oh no, my leaves, don't leave me. So we want to have white concrete here on the right, 3 rows of grey concrete extending across, like this, a row of white concrete, and then simply 3 rows of grey concrete. So it's just about dividing up car parking spaces so they look equal. I do happen to think that they do make the Krusty Krab look better, and what does make car parking spaces look better, in my humble opinion, is not that, certainly not that, hang on, yellow carpet. There we go. So the yellow carpet is just going to be added at the end of each one of the car parking spaces. I don't know why I've really taken to doing this, I just think it makes it look a little bit better. I think it's just, it breaks up the monotonous colour of the white and the grey. So now that we have done that, you can see that it's starting to really turn into like a nice looking sort of restaurant. So there's a huge... Actually, okay. We need stone brick wall, light grey shulker box, item frames, okay, and we are also going to need birch fence, the quartz block, the quartz stairs, magenta concrete, and that will do for right now, but we can do a couple more things outside which are well, they're going to be cool. So the right side here, directly to the right of the restaurant where the drive-through is, we're going to place a stone wall, shulker box, in front of it an item frame. In the item frame, another grey shulker box. This looks like a speaker box. I'm going to place... Once we have the materials, we'll be decorating this a little bit further. But on the left side here, directly to the left of maybe even the car park spot, or maybe 1 row behind, so like here, I want to place 1, 2, 3 birch fence on this wall, then smooth block of quartz on top, extend the smooth block of quartz to the right, to the left, forwards, place upside down quartz stairs in front, and place upside down smooth quartz stairs behind. Place a row of smooth quartz block on top of the stairs, extend the middle block up. Smooth quartz stairs on the left and right sides with a magenta concrete in the middle. And boom, there we have it. We have the Krusty Krab. Logo is the wrong word. There should also be like... the words Krusty Krab involved here as well, but there's no way to do it without it looking a little bit weird, so we've just got the clam with the pearl in it. Not the actual pearl, she might actually crush the sign, but we have a nice little magenta pearl. So now that we've done that, the next thing that we're going to do, really, we should grab the remaining materials that we just need to finish the outside. So I'm going to do exactly that, and I'll just be back in a second, just so that we can put an end to this outside part. Okay, so these will all have been included in the item list anyway, but we're going to need the loom, red banners, yellow banners, white banners, yellow dye, white dye, blue dye, black dye, and we will need paintings, and well, you can see the rest. We'll grab it as we need it. So we're going to throw down the loom here, we're going to crack it open, and we will make our first banner. Start off with a red banner in the loom, throw the yellow in there, and do the cross shape here. Boom, first banner, easy peasy, nice and done. Next banner, throw the other red one in there. We might as well do all the red ones first. And throw some white dye in there. And we are looking for the bottom right corner of white. And the top left corner of white. Boom, we have our other banner. So the next banner that we want to have, let's do... Okay, so we'll use our white banner. We need the blue in there. And we are going to place this pattern. So the... My bad. Hang on. Opposite. No. Why is this so confusing? No. Wait. Wait, it's got to be one of these. Yes, there we go. I don't know why I couldn't figure that out. Okay, so what we're looking for is this pattern where the half of the banner on the right diagonal side is white, the left side is blue. We're going to move on from that. My brain malfunctioned. Okay, so grab your yellow banners. Throw one in there. Actually, we can throw both in there. And we want to place... we want to keep the blue die in there. And we want the right vertical half of the banner to be blue. So we'll grab that. Throw that in the inventory. And last but not least, throw the blue die out there. Throw the black die in there. And we want to place a circle of black die directly in the middle. And there you go. That is the last banner. So... in the order that we're going to be needing them, let me going from left to right, we'll need the red banner with the yellow cross, yellow banner with the black dot, the blue and white banner, red and white, and then yellow and blue. So, hopefully, we should be able to place these nice and easy. First one here, second one here, third one here, fourth one here, fifth one here. And there we go. Perfect. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Very, very happy with that. I think that that looks pretty cool. Hopefully you do as well. So we can now get rid of these. And now we are going to need oak signs, or any signs, it doesn't matter. Painting. We need, just to finish the outside, we just need a bit of green and oak trapdoors. But then to kind of like put a start to the inside, we're going to be using light grey, grey concrete, oak planks, and some dark oak planks. And first of all, we're just going to make a little menu sign. This is directly next to the speaker box. So I just want like a 1x1 painting with a sign underneath it that just says menu. And of course, this isn't exactly, like, you can't read off of this, but it just sort of like looks like it could be a menu. As we come to the back of the build, I want to have the famous green dumpster. So 1, 2, 3 green concrete, extend it forwards, place oak trapdoors on it, boom, there you've got the famous green dumpster. I don't know why I'm so I don't know why it needed to be included, but I wanted to include it. So we're now going to come inside and we're going to start laying down the groundwork, quite literally, for the inside of the build. So the way that this build separates is that the customer part of the build is basically all the way up until the end of these windows, and then the rest of the build is just directly behind. So if we start on the left here where we have the spruce plank, we want to place a light grey concrete, extend up to 1, 2, right 2, 1, 2, extend down. We then want to place a row of 1, 2, 3 light grey concrete, and then this is where we would use a different material, so I guess we'll just use it. We won't be able to do it, but mark this out here with just like an oak plank, and then continue going right by 1, 2, mark out with an oak plank, and then continue going right 1, 2 with light grey, place grey concrete, extend up to 1, 2, extend right to 1, 2, join down to the ground, and then place a light grey concrete. So this is what we sort of want to have so far. That's not looking too bad. There is a window directly behind it and in between where these oak planks are. So if we raise up all of the area using the light grey concrete except for those middle 3 rows, which are 2 rows high, we then want to place rows of light grey concrete like this, just to create like a separation, just like so. There we go. Perfect. I also think that the roof would look cooler, by the way, if we did this. So this is just an idea that I had. So if you place a row of... where would it be? It'd be here. If you place a row of horizontal dark oak planks here, just 1 row away from the top in front of the light grey, and then if you placed a what would you call it, a mixed row of oak planks and dark oak planks that kind of follows the pattern of the roof along extended down, then you kind of get like an interesting roof shape inside here. So I just think that I just like it. I just like how that looks. We also want to rip up the floor. So the floor is going to be completely ripped up, and we're going to make it green concrete. That is the actual color of the Krusty Krab. So the floor is only being ripped up in the front and made green. It's going to be ripped up in the back, and it's going to be replaced by spruce planks, which is what I should have on me, by the way, instead of the oak planks. I'm not even quite sure why I have the oak planks. I can't even remember using... Where do we even use oak planks in this build? I'm sure that it's somewhere, but I don't know why we've got them. Have I just randomly grabbed oak planks thinking it was something else? Probably. We don't use oak, do we? Again, maybe my brain is just... Maybe it's fallen out somewhere on the floor. I did hear like a little squishy sound earlier. Maybe it's just... Maybe it's on the floor next to me. That'd certainly explain why I just can't figure out what I'm doing. So, the front of the Krusty Krab here will be a green floor. And we want to also do that in between the doors. Here. Like I said, so, we've also got to divide at the back. So, to divide the back of the build, I'm actually not sure if it's here. Let me take a quick look at the plans here. So, the bathroom, yes, so, just right next to the door here, we want to have a wall of light grey concrete. But first, I'm just going to rip up the floor, and I'm going to replace it with the spruce plank. So this is the bathroom, the left side here, the smaller of the two rooms that we have in the build. So this is going to be the bathroom. So it's up to you whether you perhaps want to use quartz or something fancier. I'm not so bothered myself. I'm rather happy just doing it with the spruce. So I'm going to place all of this floor here. Like I said, I'm just gonna have spruce everywhere because that is actually what the floor would look like anyway. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all that it would just be spruce. So getting some weird shadow effects as we're doing this. It's kind of creepy. It's almost like lightning striking here or something. Little bit sort of like Slenderman-y. Not particularly happy about it. There we go. So we can destroy this here as well. We can create this dividing wall using light grey concrete. And I'm also considering something else, by the way. So the wall, but as we add this, by the way, so keep doing this. I'm considering adding a layer of light grey concrete all the way around the inside of the kitchen because it is more, what would be the word? Realistic, it's more factual, however you want to say it. I think that you guys know what I'm trying to say. The walls are metal inside the kitchen, so I'm thinking about just doing that. I mean, we can leave the ceiling, but the walls like this, so we'll probably just have to alter this a little bit, augment it a bit, but I'm pretty happy with this space right now. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with this. The only thing that I do want to add is there are two pillars, for lack of a better term, in the front of the Krusty Krab. And the way to place them is this. So from each of these spruce planks here, you want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move out, and then place a vertical row of spruce planks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, outside, vertical row of spruce planks heading all the way up to the ceiling. And then this divides the area nicely. And yeah, I'm actually very, very happy with how this is progressing. This is going to look absolutely fantastic when it's done. So if you guys wouldn't mind giving me a quick moment, I'm going to gather all of the materials that I think that we're going to be needing to complete the inside of the build. And some of them we may have even seen before. My bad if that's the case. Okay, I think that I have figured it out. Here are all of the materials that we will need to make the rest of the Krusty Krab. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. So, now that we've got all that sorted out, I'm going to grab the stone brick wall, red carpet, yellow carpet, string, barrel, red concrete, smooth quartz stairs, white carpet. We'll also need some polished andesite stairs. And we are going to start off by making... Shall we make where Squidward would be? Shall we make the order area? So, basically, where we have these 2 oak planks here, I'm going to destroy this left one, extend it forwards I'm destroying it, replacing it with red concrete, extend it forwards by 1, 2, across to the right, 1, 2, back 1, destroy that oak plank. I'm going to place an upside down smooth quartz stairs in front of this, a regular facing polished andesite stairs behind, white carpet on top of the red concrete, and boom, that is where our very happy, very lovely Squidward would be taking your orders. So now that we have done that, we are going to make some tables. So there's 2 tables on each side of the Krusty Krab. It actually doesn't really matter where you put them. Like literally you can plonk down, like mark one out with a stone brick wall here and say like, I don't know, like 1 here or maybe 1 here. So they want to be, they probably want to be 2 rows away from the windows and maybe from each other. But you know, something like this, maybe we can even make it a little bit closer to here. But the tables are stone brick walls, yellow carpet on the center, string on each of the 4 sides on the floor, and then red carpet on top of the string. And that's all there is to it. So here, and then we want barrels for seats. These can be placed directly next to the table, slightly away from the table, directly at the table. It doesn't really matter. It's really just about like what you want. And then we've just got to do the same thing on the opposite side. So again, I'd recommend 2 rows away from the window, so maybe like here, and at least 2 rows away from each other, so maybe like here. Yellow carpet on top of the middle. Like, they don't have to, if you want to specifically place them in the same place on both sides, which I might have done. I actually think I placed this one closer inwards. I can't remember. Like, you can, but I'm just mixing it up a bit. They're just tables. Like, it doesn't really matter too much. I mean, these ones are a little bit too close to together, to be honest. Like, I'd probably move this one just 1 row further up. Just because I just don't want the tables touching, but that's all there is to it. So here, so string would be here, 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 and here. There we go. As long as they're not touching, it's all fine. And then we can place like barrels. So here, and maybe like even 1 here, just off to the side, like here, even here, touching the front. Like it doesn't really matter as long as we've got all of the tables. I think that I've said that about 5 times now. So hopefully you guys get what I mean. So now that we've done that, we can probably dump out some of these materials for now, although I'm sure that we'll be revisiting them. We need stone buttons, spruce door, lanterns, smoker, polished black stone, pressure plate, rail, grey concrete, birch fence, item frames. So we want doors into the bathroom and the kitchen. We want to place stone buttons around those doors just to give them that cool effect, just like this. Perfect. I'm also going to recommend placing lanterns around the tops of the pillars in the front of your Krusty Krab, and that'll actually provide a satisfactory amount of light. I mean, that's pretty much as light as you could possibly need it in here, so I'm actually pretty happy with that. Is that oak? We used oak instead of spruce, didn't we? Okay, we'll sort that out a little bit. We'll sort that out a little bit later on. Actually, we can do it now because I don't think we ever need the spruce doors. I don't know. I must have grabbed oak by accident instead of grabbing spruce. I genuinely don't know how that even happened. So now that we've done that, we're going to come into the kitchen now, and we are going to work on the kitchen. So first of all, this is the grill area where SpongeBob would be working. So I'm going to place a row of 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4 smokers here. And then we would need a couple of rows of grey concrete here. And I'm going to stick a lantern on here, an item frame on here. I'm going to place a rail on top of one of the smokers. I'm going to place polished up black stone pressure plates on top of each one of the smokers. So this is like a grill. This is like a deep fry. We could even use a cauldron for this, though. There's no reason that we couldn't use a cauldron because at least it'd give a bit of a different effect. So here, that's perfect. Above the window, I like the idea of having like an order rack. So that is where, like, if we place a set of birch fence and then we have item frames, we might even place a bit of paper in there. It looks as though that it's like, oh, table 1 wants 50 Krabby Patties, table 2 wants 52 Krabby Patties. Why are people ordering 50s of these? Mr. Krab must be a billionaire by now. So you guys get the idea. So it's just kind of like a little order rack. I don't know what to quite call them otherwise. A little table here is on the left side. By the way, this is relatively accurate to the actual kitchen. I haven't made this up. There is also like a rack along here. This is kind of just for like, for lack of a better word, tools and equipment. So this is just a row of 4 birch fence here in the same plane as we've added this, with some item frames in it. I'm going to place item frames on here as well. This is for ingredients. There is a storage cupboard of some sort, which is a row of 4 grey concrete. A row of 3 grey concrete extending up from the bottom here, coming up to the top. I'm going to get rid of the spruce wood planks, going to grab buttons, and it's basically like, it is some sort of like storage cupboard of some sort, so the buttons are meant to represent handles. I'm going to stick a lantern on top of on top of here, and I'm going to also, I'll need barrels and brown shulker boxes. So brown shulker box on the side of here. There's barrels to the right of this, so I'm just going to place like 3 barrels, just kind of like in this sort of pattern here. Along the right side here, I'm going to place a cauldron with a tripwire hook above it. This is just going to look like a sink. To the right of this, there is, once again, it's kind of like another cabinet. It's just going to be 3 rows of magenta terracotta with buttons inside here, and then we're just going to place a barrel here against this wall. And I mean, there's really not too much more to this as is. I mean, it's very, very simple, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that's all there is in here. We will be filling these item frames up, by the way, as in a little bit, but for now we're going to come all the way over to where the toilets are, and we are going to work on the toilets. So for the toilets, very, very simple. Might even use a little bit of red concrete in here just to make it a little bit nicer. Red concrete, cauldron, tripwire hook we'll be using for this, oak trapdoor, grey concrete, smooth quartz stairs, lanterns, and I mean that'll pretty much do. So starting from over here on the left, grey concrete, cauldron, grey concrete, tripwire hook above the cauldron, lantern here on the left side. We're going to have red concrete, gap, red concrete, extend the red concretes upwards each by 2 like this, and extend forwards by 1. Place cauldrons in between the red concretes with oak trap doors on top of the cauldrons. We're going to use a smooth quartz stairs as kind of like a little hand dry in here, and for like doors to these stalls, we're just going to have spruce doors, and that's all there is to it. It's as simple as that. I mean, there's not too much complexity. It's just a little bathroom. So now that we've done that, we're just going to grab these, just a few final parts, like some item frames, some like food items like bread and salmon and cod. I mean, I think that you guys, this is meant to be like a signs would actually be quite good as well. This is meant to be kind of like a fast food, like fish restaurant. You know, it's kind of like a little bit of a nod to the Krusty Krab. So it's not exactly like a burger restaurant per se, you know, with Krabby Patties. But I'm just going to place a couple of item frames left and right of the ordering area, and I'm going to place some oak signs below. Feel free to fill those oak signs up with whatever you might feel as though would go in there. I'm going to place bread and then the 2 assorted fish on like the left and right here, and then I'm going to come into the kitchen, and I'm just going to have like, you know, fish here, bread here, fish here. Above the order window, this is a very small detail. Like if you, I mean, banner patterns or paperwork for this perfectly, you know, that would look great. In terms of like tools, I mean, just like iron saw. I mean, a spatula would look good. I mean, this is kind of like SpongeBob. Like if we used an iron shovel as a spatula, I kind of like that. That's kind of like another little nod to SpongeBob. But honestly, guys, I mean, we've sort of made the entirety of the Krusty Krab. I mean, there's not really too much else to do. I guess that really we can just have a good look around it, and that's that. So this is what your Krusty Krab will look like once it's been 100% fully completed, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you have enjoyed making this build as much as I enjoyed designing and making it. I really did enjoy this one. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you're new around here, please do consider subscribing and clicking the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. If you do want to make anything else by me, check out the card system, the description below, and the top of the comment section for more. Check out the City Builds playlist. That will have absolutely everything that you're looking for and more. But that's pretty much everything, guys. That's all we've had cooking. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.